What up? What up? What up? Hope everybody's doing good this morning. I got up this morning, and we're not going to do the intro. This is a little something different. I'm trying to come up with ideas to go live every day, and I thought of this one and thought, man, this is something that our customers need to know. A lot of our customers stick with the nation, and that's great. I appreciate that, but there's some things I don't offer. Or there's people out here in the industry that are leading the industry that I want to mention because I just feel like ESPN had done an article today about our industry, and I was thinking to myself, wow, when is this going to end? And I kind of got to thinking about it, and I was like, man, it's really just like the stock market or a big business, and it's really who's the leaders of that industry. And then I got to thinking about it, and I was like, the leaders of the industry that we're in now are 10 times the cats that were running it in 1989. The companies are smarter too. Topps, Panini, Leaf, Upper Deck, all of them. They're just smarter. They're not pumping out too much of one product. I feel like I ought to know that. So that's the truth. But what I wanted to do is, this is just my opinion. You can take it and a dollar and go get you a Diet Dew out of the machine. But it's something that when I started thinking about these people, I was like, man, this is about to blow up. This isn't shit. Like if you think Kendrick Perkins and Gary Vaynerchuk and our boy from the Packers, Beagle, that watches the show, we're just getting started, man. It's about ready to pop. And I'm not saying go spend your life savings on cards. I just want to give you guys some of the people that I feel like, if you haven't done business with them, you should. And these are just my little categories. Y'all know how I am. I'm more interested in how people in the industry treat other people when nobody's looking, or what they bring to the collective. It's not just a take. But anyway, the first one, there's only like 10. It won't take me long, but there's people out there want to be a little want to listen. So there's a couple that I want to discuss, and one is like the first one is the best brick and mortar store. Now, of course, we're taking us out of every category, so I'm just talking about everybody out there. And by far, to me personally, this is something I feel like I should have some value to bring to you. But Michael Fruitman in Denver, Colorado area. If you haven't visited his store, if you live out there, you should check it out. The dude, he's been doing this for, I think, about 25 years, but that's not what really impresses me. It impresses me that he has a Facebook page for all the card shop owners, so they're able to collaborate. They're able to vent if there's something going on, or if they need help with something. There's so many people that are helpful on there. Probably the best tool for me as a newer card shop owner was that page. But the reason I'm saying it's him isn't because the way the store looks, or it's how he treats his customers. He truly cares about his customers. Like I said, that's the truth, is that he truly cares. It's something when the shades are drawn, I can tell that he cares, and I'm one of the guys that would know that, and it's not a put on or a fake act. He cares, so therefore that's way more important than what's on the walls or what's in the showcases. Another one I want to discuss is, because this industry is changing, where it's a lot of investing, and it's a lot of a guy buys a Luka or a Zion or whatever, and it's always PSA or Beckett, but there's people that I see that make tremendous returns on their cards. And that was one of the things. Another one I want to go over is the best investor in this industry. And he has a business called Sports Card Academy. You can learn from this cat. None of these people are paying me. This is just my opinion. I don't, if they sell 1 million subscriptions, it's because they earned it. It's not because somebody's advertising for them. I have no dog in that race. But his name is Jameson Long. He runs Sports Card Academy. I've seen that dude time and time again. I mean, he's just brutally, right, or he is right way more than he's wrong. And it's one of those things that over the time frame, I've come to respect that dude just from a distance. But not only that, but like if I'm ever needing help, there's 3 or 4 people that I go to. If I don't know something, I normally go to Adam, I go to Jameson, or I go to Dimitri, or I go to Weston. And those dudes are all on the list later on. But those 4 are the ones that I'm leaning on sometimes when there's something that's, above my pay grade. I don't know everything. They don't know everything about owning a card shop. But together, as leaders, I feel like as a group, we can roll. And So Jameson Long, check it out. Sports Card Academy. I don't know what it costs. I don't know any of that stuff. I just know I've seen it, and I'm like, man, my customers would benefit from that, I believe. Best negotiator in the industry, it's not even close, is Adam Rowe. Breakers Row, baby. Golly, I've seen him do things at a card show that I just tip my cap and roll on. It's just not in me. Like he can get what he needs done, and that person loves him after the fact. A lot of people roll in there like a bull in a china shop. They might get what they want done, but the person has resentment towards them. Adam, all these people that I'm mentioning, it needs to be said that this didn't just happen. Adam didn't roll out of bed and become the best negotiator I've ever seen. It's like I see him when he drives down from Michigan down to Cincinnati in a rental van, and he's loading up everybody's cards, grinding, buying people's tables. People don't see all that. So all you guys that are thinking about getting into this industry and doing what these guys do, you need to know straight up that it's not glamorous as it seems right now. You're going to have to pay your dues. When you hop online, you might have 2 people watching. I had 2 people watching, but when I look back now, I'm like, damn, he was learning, he was paying his dues, he was risking his money, all that he had. Every one of these cats pretty much risked it all that I'm going to be talking about. It's just, they're the leaders, and they're going to take us places that I'm like, damn, we're about to blow up. Like, I really believe that. Like, this isn't the end. This is the beginning, and it's because of guys like that. So, your boy Adam, if you want to sell your cards, be prepared. The surgeon's coming in with his scalpel, and he'll handle business. But you'll love him. You will love that guy. Next up, most miles traveled in our industry. And this one isn't even close. And during COVID, I've even gotten more respect for this guy because most of us won't do it. Is Anthony Devine, the Road Warrior. Y'all got to check him out too, man. He like comes to the Tops events. He doesn't own a store, but he comes because he wants to be involved in the process. He wants to know what's going on. This dude is a winner. He travels all over. COVID, fuck COVID. Anthony wears a mask, hops on a plane, and goes to work. True respect for people like that. He is someone that you'll remember when you deal with him. He's just a cool guy. He's a character. But the main thing is he's a hard worker. All these guys that I've mentioned are hard workers. That's the one thing, the common denominator in everybody I say is they have a tremendous work ethic. Like if you want to play video games all the time, go buy a PS5. These guys won't have a PS5. They're going to be working. They're going to be grinding. So Anthony Devine, the Road Warrior, you can find him on Facebook. You can probably find him anywhere in any small card shop, any corner of the earth, you'll find him. Big Anthony Devine. Best breaker. This is hard for me because there's quite a few, and I'll mention several. But the best breaker, in my opinion, is Chris Justice from Cards Infinity. And, it's longevity. It's the type of person he is. He's a really good dude. He cares about his customers a great deal. I mean, I could mention Firehand Cards. That dude is legit, true kind guy. Longevity, Leighton Sports Cards. Rich is a good dude. Rich has always been good to me. He's been good to his customers. He's literally, Rich is a leader in the industry, just like those other 2 guys are. When you have people with good character that are on top, it used to be when I owned this store, like people thought car shop owners were greasy car salesman types. And nothing against car salesmen. I don't think most car salesmen are greasy car salesmen. But that's how some people portray it, even though it's not reality. And we all had to overcome that. But it's overcome now. And these guys aren't greasy car salesmen. They're businessmen handling business, and they're at the top. And that's good, man, because in this industry, it's really frowned upon to be a dirtbag. So I feel like, again, that's one of the reasons we'll continue to thrive, and it's just getting started, is that. So, I mean, Cards Infinity is probably the best breaker. You got Firehand. You've got Leighton. You've got Kyle at Monster Breaks. He's a good dude. Seems to be pretty honorable. Curtis. So they're pretty good. If you're looking for, like, I don't do team breaks. I don't even do group breaks, guys. Everybody thinks I'm a breaker. I do personal box breaks for my customers. I'm just a small card shop owner. I'm not. I don't have sorters and all those things. So like, if that's your cup of tea, man, those are the type of guys to check out. People with a reputation like those guys. Next up, most honest in our industry, which I think is one of the most important for me. Unfortunately, like, if you fuck me over, I hold a grudge, man. It's a weakness of mine. So with me, I've got to deal with people that don't screw you over even once, or it bothers me when I have to deal with people. It's not worth the money. But I'll tell you, two people that I feel like are the most honest that I've dealt with is Dimitri L. and Weston. Y'all know them. They're the GOAT boys. They create GOAT. A couple of reasons I'll tell you that is, first, they make GOAT, and I can tell you that GOAT, percentage-wise, they're not making a lot of money on that product. They're chalking it full of value for the end user. And if the breaker is reasonable and doesn't try to gouge on the profit, that's a really good repack for somebody that maybe doesn't want to get their hair cut but has a chance at a solid card. To me, that reveals integrity that they're doing that, because they're selling it out immediately. Like, that's the thing. There's somebody that's been doing this for 10 years that it's just business. But if they're able to sell out, they're going to trim the percentage until they can't sell it out. That's just business. But there's some of us that are like, no, we're just going to keep to the same formula and let's just keep it a win-win for both sides. When you have the power to not do that, to make more profit, and you're passing up profit to treat your customer with respect and worry about their bottom line, to me, that shows a lot of integrity. And both those guys do that. There's another one where Weston, literally, this is one of the best things anybody's ever done for me. We sold Weston a couple cases of National Treasures basketball this year. I think it was basketball. I'm almost sure. So what are you talking about? 20 plus thousand. Well, one of us, I don't know who it was, doesn't matter, it all fault. When you're the owner of something, whoever is under you, when they do something wrong, it's your fault. You coming up, Terry, you coming up. But I sold Weston a couple cases of treasures, and we printed off his old address. So we literally sent 20,000 plus to some P.O. box in about 20 minutes from Weston. I call Weston, let him know. He goes over there, drives over there, and it's laying in the floor at the P.O. boxes. Now, what could Weston have done? We're talking 20,000, 20 G's. He could have picked that shit up, said, nope, Nate, can't find it. Somebody took it. Straight up. I did him a favor. He got it at a good deal, so maybe that was part of it. But I really believe, even if I hadn't, Weston is just that kind of person. So if you're the repack game, I'm always going to tell you that GOAT's going to treat you fair, man. You're going to get a better return than the companies. It's just a fact. So people like that are just good people to deal with. Here's my other one. I like this one, and it's Terry. He just hopped on. But the most determined card dealer in the industry is my man, Terry Dullen. And that's a compliment. That guy, with that mentality, you can go far in any industry. When you're determined to get something done, you're going to get it done. And that, I've dealt with probably thousands of card dealers, and he literally is the most determined. There was a card that I had, a National Treasures card. I didn't want to sell it. He wasn't rude or anything. He just was determined to get this card. He wasn't trying to take advantage of me. He truly just wanted the card. Well, man, over time, I was just like, you know what? It was the respect for him continuing to try, and it wasn't like he was just banging in there. He was trying to bring value to my side just to get done what he wanted done. And I was like, man, somebody like that, I just do it because I feel like, man, respect for that type of determination. And I think that's what I'm trying to tell you guys. I feel like a lot of you guys are going to get into this industry and try to be the next Terry or the next Adam, the next Jameson, the next Dimitri. And maybe you will, but I'm trying to prepare you that when you bring your toolbox, you can't just bring a hammer. You can't just bring a screwdriver. You're going to have to bring them. You have to bring it all if you want to be one of the leaders, as far as I'm concerned. Something else I wanted to go over with you guys wasn't just people in the industry. It was like the best Facebook page, because there's a Facebook page out there that I've had a lot of fun with, and it's the NBA Hotspot. Best Facebook group as far as you can see some amazing stuff. There's cool people in there from all over the world. Most of y'all it's Facebook user. I don't know who you are. But if you guys are in an NBA hotspot, you should check it out, man, just because just the cards you'll see, but you'll pick up cards that you like. You'll learn from people like these guys, man. If you pay attention, you'll learn from the guys that know what they're doing. NBA hotspot, no doubt. Other thing, we always carry on about this, and that's my stick, that we're always trying to chase the big boys. So if I'm always carrying on and trying to tug on their cape, messing around, because, what am I going to do? Try to be as good as a breaker that's equal or lower than what we do? And that's all relative, or that's all subjective. Who's better, who's this, but I'm always lake boys, big boys. So, I feel like in something like this, I need to tell y'all straight up what the deal is with the big boys and who's the biggest, best, baddest big boy. And I go back and forth, and I'll tell you two different reasons why. There's two that are head and shoulders. They're just legit. And one is Steel City, and obviously the other one is the Big Bad Superman Blowout Fish. And let me just tell you, I had no idea when I was a collector what those guys went through to get where they are. It's I can't articulate what I've been through to do a small percentage of what these guys do. But the reason they're the best isn't, it isn't because they sell it for the most or they have the most customers. It's because particularly both of them, through our business with each other, I've done a lot of business with these guys. They're super good dudes, as far as business. And I don't know if I know any harder workers. They're definitely, they've been doing this 25, 30 years, and they're probably equal to all these younger cats that are savages. This is the best of the best that I'm telling you. They're the best of the best. But both of them have just this tremendous work ethic, and they're never satisfied. And, I'll never reach that level because, coming up here shortly, I am going to be satisfied. And I respect somebody that can do something that I probably can't. And it's not because maybe I'm not able. It's because I just don't want to go down that road. But I know a fraction of what they have to do to be that caliber or that type of market share of the entire industry. And it would blow you away what those guys have done, the bullshit they deal with. I remember when I first started, Blowout it was constant negativity from other card shops. He's trying to put us out of business. He's doing this. Over the last year, Blowout has done every single card shop in the country, probably Steel City too. Both of them have done us the biggest favor on the planet. When prices rose, they didn't undercut everybody. They made it where it was more profitable for small card shop owners, and that's just the facts, man. So, it's one of those things where, hey, man, give credit where credit's due. It is what it is. If we're talking about who's the biggest, baddest mofos on the block, that's them. And respect to both of them. I just can't pick one or the other because they're that good. They're not going to give me any deal. I get nothing for any of this. This is just fun to go live and tell y'all what's on my mind about our industry. Next up, we're obviously the best distributor. Come on now. Y'all know the answer to that. Southern Hobby changed my life. If you're a small card shop owner, they could change your life too. But buddy, you better work hard. They're not going to open up the cases of cards to Johnny come lately. You're going to have to put in the work, man. You're going to have to be the horse on the track that's ready to run. Don't call me up and ask me how to get in touch with Southern Hobby. You could grab a phone book, talk to Brian Pugh. Literally changed my life. I appreciate them from the bottom of my heart. I would literally go, if there's a civil war and Southern Hobby needs me, I'm ready to roll. They're the best. Another one that I wanted to go over was the two coolest card shops when I got started. Because people don't understand. You think that someone wants to help you, but nah, man. Most people, if you're opening up a donut shop in Murfreesboro, another Murfreesboro donut shop's not trying to help you. So I ran into a lot of people, card shop owners. In 2016, it was pretty much universally thought that I was a moron for opening my store, that I didn't know any better. I'll tell you a story that sits with me to this day about opening a card shop. And we opened in August. I went to my first convention, like card shop convention. I was so happy. I was so proud. Had my badge. We had made it to January. This was January 2017. I had made it 3 or 4 months. You got to remember, I didn't have much in the bank. It could have flopped by then. I know card shops that close in a month. So I go there and I meet Adam from, I think it's Broken Arrow, S&S Sports Cards. That dude's super cool too. Check him out. I think it's S&S Sports Cards, Adam. His name is Adam. There's a lot of cool ass Adams. But I met him there. That was the first card shop dude that kind of was cool to me. But there was a guy, a huge guy, had been a card shop owner for like 20, 30 years, he said. And he said, hey, how long have you been open? And I said, since August. And he literally drops his fork. He got biscuits and eggs and blueberry muffins flying everywhere. And he's like, why would you do that? That's so dumb. I would get out of this in a heartbeat if I could. And I can remember that was the first time people would come into my store and tell me I was crazy. But that was people who didn't know any better. Like, that wasn't a card shop owner. That was like fucking Slappy McSlapster coming in talking about his 87 Topps Bo Jackson. And he didn't know shit. But this dude literally did. And if it wasn't for the people I'm about to mention, someone like that can crush a dream. Luckily, I didn't talk to this guy before August because he might have scared me. If you ask the people that are closest to me, when I opened, I almost didn't open. I almost backed off. And that's a valuable lesson for you guys. Like, I almost tried to find a way not to open. Just, I guess, fear of failure. I don't know why, but I was about to. And 2 people in my life that also changed my life were those 2 people. That was like, hey, this has been your whole dream, your whole life. Like, you got to try this. And it's true, man. Looking back, they helped me find happiness. So tremendous respect for people like that. But this guy, he's a dream crusher. And if you run across those people before you run across people like that I'm about to mention, you might have a problem. But what you have to do is don't listen to the loudest cat in the room. Like, listen to the people that are positive. Listen to the people that say you can. If you listen to a lot of people that say I and can't, you need to drop that person. And that's that kind of person. I would give anything to find that guy. I've never seen him at another one. Maybe he retired. But if I ever see him at a Topps or an Upper Deck, Panini convention, national, I've got him seared into my soul. And if I ever catch him, I'm not going to be rude, but I'm going to tell him what time it is. Be careful what dreams you're trying to dash, man. And I'm sure he'll respond that I'm super lucky. I opened, yeah, okay, bud. Again, it'll make me feel a little better to tell him to go kick rocks, clown. But the 2 that were cool to me were Brooks Bryant, Champ Sports Cards down in Alabama. I used to go down to Brooks back in the day when this wasn't a big deal, and I would go down there, and he didn't like me very much. Me and Robbie would go down there, and I was a wheeler dealer, like, hey, if 10% off meant, being able to pay my eBay bill, so I would try. Like, I'm a lot different now than I was then, but out of necessity, man. I feel like once you get rolling, and if you're making a good profit, you shouldn't be trying to take 10% from the guy. You should pay that. That's what I'm hoping in this industry, that as the tide rises, all of our boats rise. It's not just Jameson's boat or Adam's boat or Dimitri's boat or Fruitman's boat or whoever, Terry's boat. We all rise together, because these type of guys aren't going to just keep trying to beat you up over that 10%. They're going to try to help you too. So Brooks at first didn't really care for me because I was that little needling, hey, can I have this for this? And Brooks is just not like that. Brooks is a straight shooter. He's going to tell you this is the price. He might come off $20 or something, but he's not going to go back and forth 3 or 4 times. But when I told him I was going to open a shop, and him and Alex were two of the big reasons that I did it, was because I was like, everybody told me can't, but Brooks had been open forever, and Alex, I watched Alex, he had a card shop about the size of a closet, turn it into this massive Magic sports card. You wouldn't even believe how big it is, but I'll get to him in a second. But Brooks, from that point on, when I decided I was going to do it and go for it, Brooks was super kind, super helpful, just a good guy, man. Just was, I don't know if he was sitting back, hoping I'd make it, I don't really know. But to me, man, he was just he was a positive force that was like, hey, man, it's going to be hard, but you can do it. And I think that's the advice that we should give you guys is, hey, man, you're not going to get all these allocations, but man, that doesn't mean it can't be done. It just means there's some work to do, man. You've got to decide if you're willing to put up the work, the risk, and you're probably better off not knowing what all it takes. That's probably a little being a little naive is good, but that's okay, man. Burn the boats, just like Tony Robbins says. You got to burn the boats. Brooks Bryant, Champ Sports Card. Check him out in Alabama. Good dude. He's one of the reasons that I felt like I could when most said I couldn't. The other one's Alex Spears, through the decades in Louisville. He's another kind of no-nonsense guy in from New York that's come down from Louisville. But I watched him have a store that literally was about the size of a closet. It wasn't big. It had to be, I don't know. It was small. Same shopping center. A few years later, this guy had, it has to be 4,000 or 5,000 square feet. True nut dragger, grinder, loves cards. You're not gonna come in there carrying on a bunch of nonsense, though. He's kind of like us when it comes to he drops the bottom 10 up quick and in a hurry. But I want to mention someone like that made an impact on me. And the people that I'm mentioning here, I don't want anybody in the industry, if you're a leader, you're a leader. If I didn't mention you as a breaker, you know whether I respect you or not, or how my feelings are towards you. I don't hide anything. You know if I've got your back or I think you're an asshat. People that are trying to destroy the hobby. It's one of those things where it's just a lot of good dudes that I feel like are about to lead us into something that we had no idea. All these guys, they never dreamed what's happening was going to happen. They were doing it for the love of what they want to do. That little seed when they were a little kid. And not only did they talk, they walked. And I think that's important, man. They had a dream, and I'm all for people, whatever it is, bake pies, like I say, wash cars. Every industry has that top 2-3% that run shit, that are winners. Whether you're a garbage man, Andrew Winters owns a garbage company and is one of the best human beings, most successful people on the planet. There's people who mow yards that make millions of dollars because they're the baddest motherfucker in their business. And that's what it's got to take, man. You have to be willing to do some crazy shit to get to where these guys are at. I'm not kidding about Anthony. If you want to hop on a plane 30 times a year and go head to hell with Anthony, good luck. Better grab you some Kobe's, the Bruce Lee version, because you're going to need them. If you want to try to learn what Adam's done, you got about 20 years. So maybe you can cut some of that short if you reach out to these guys, or if you buy Jameson's package for learning some of this stuff. These guys are out here to help, man. They want the collective to grow. It's good for all of us. The more card shops that open are good for me. I have no fear. You could open the best thing that could ever happen to me, a card shop open in this shopping center. I challenge anybody to come do it, because all it would do, it would light a fire under my Nike golf shorts like no other. So unless you're a pussy, you don't want competition. You want competition to a degree. That's how I am anyway. Check out my cards. I don't know what you're talking about. I could go over all these other things, but these are the ones that are important to me. Just like I say, donate to the charity that is dear to your heart. I ride with St. Jude and I ride with Pat Tillman because that's what God put in my heart. And I think that's what you should do. You shouldn't try to convince someone to donate to your cause. You should go do some things for your cause. And that's the same thing with this list. I'm sure somebody will be offended, and it's not meant to offend anybody. If you're a winner in this industry, I promise you from a distance, I'm like, man, that guy or that girl is rolling. And I just have respect because I do understand some of it. Some of these guys are just on another level than me, and I'm humble enough that I don't. Buddy, if you want to go buy a car and you want to hire somebody to negotiate the deal, don't call me. Call Adam. I'm just telling you. It is what it is. I had a blast doing this. The nation, y'all, hey, by the way, the best customer base on the planet, we can be allowed to add to the list. The best customers in the industry is Grand Slam Nation. Y'all know it, and they know it. So nothing but love for all y'all. 200 people watching me. Just give a little imaginary awards out. Maybe we need to make some plaques for these guys. Literally make some plaques and send them out. So we might do that. What else we got to do? We're chilling. We got everything under control now. With Rookie, you can't lose, baby. Now the Rookie's rolling, boy, I can't lose. Let's go. All right, guys. Y'all have a good Friday. We'll catch y'all tonight. Try to pump some positivity into the world, man. We all need it, for real. Everybody, even the negative ones. They need your positivity, man. Do good. Holla at you, boy. Talk to you later, man. Always be dragging. Oh, yeah, with my man Bryant, too. Bryant and Rookie's like Batman and Robin, son. Let's go. Let's ride, nation. Let's go.